looking at it, you lot were clearly the better team with chances, but we just held on. You couldn't really get past our back line as much. And honestly, doing my stream and that was probably one of the most tense games you could just think about watching. I mean, yeah, it's just a shame we lost Wolf. It doesn't feel like a win for some reason. It doesn't feel like a win for us for some reason, but it's a shame but we got the job done at the end of the day. And that, honestly, yeah, when you brought players on like Andy Carroll and saint-maximin and that, it was just. I mean, saint-maximin caused a few problems for us on the wing. Every time the guy got into the box and that, he was just unstoppable, untouchable, really. But we managed to deal with him just for the last few minutes of the game. When Carroll came on, I could just see that we're going to do the long ball technique, but we managed to hold him off as well. And yeah, at the end of the day, that's how we just got the 3 points, and that did our job perfectly.
Feels like we're back to bloody square one again, isn't it? I mean, hey. I mean, the second goal we conceded, that is shocking defending, that. That is so bad defending. My word. And then second half, the chances we had were just absolutely wasteful. It was just over the bar every single time, and I'm thinking, work the goalkeeper. But the question I would like to ask was, where the hell was Graham Jones? Because if it's true, he was sent to the stands.
A lot of missed chances in the first half, I think. Because we were actually playing well for the first 45 minutes. We looked as if we played against Everton. We were playing decent. We weren't great because we lost the half 2-1. But a shocking 5 minutes defensively cost us. There's terrible marking from Shatter, and that string of passes Palace had on the left hand side for the first goal. No one was tight enough. Manquillo got caught out there. I think Shelby could have done better. So a terrible 5 minutes defensively and a lack of chances. Fraser had a great chance. We had a lot of headers. We should have put them to bed. We should have been 2-0 up at least at one point in the first half, and they shouldn't have had a chance. But we let them in, and after that they sat back and we could do nothing because we're not used to attacking.
Palace are very good. I think they've got decent counter attack going forward. Eze, Zaha, in particular, and there you are. That we can't afford to be switching off. It was just the chances were wasted as well. That's really what let me down the day.
I'm a big critic of Bruce, as a lot of people on social media would know, but I don't think he had too much of a blame on tonight's performance. Because look, the first half we were done by two sloppy, we fell asleep for the two Palace goals, but for most of the possession and shots and that, we just weren't clinical enough. Maitland-Niles would have been a good shout, because I know my brother's an Arsenal fan, so he let me know about the players, and he said he didn't understand why Arsenal got rid of him or why his game time was limited there. And he's not a fan of Willock either, so...
Meant that every time Manquillo got the ball to go forward, his man next to him, Henrik, on that side, was always looking after Eze, so he always had to go long, or you had to try and be clever and cut across the pitch. And I think a lot of Manquillo's passing was straight up to the person next to him and then sat back in his position because he was too worried about going inside because of Henrik worrying about Eze. It's the problem that we've had for how long now, right back. And I can't believe that that's not the position that we've looked at in January. I mean, I know we're after Maitland-Niles, but we were really going to get him. If he wants to play midfield, we need a right back. So it's the same problem again, Sam, I think, and we're going to have this craft conversation quite a few times, I think.
Well, it's incredibly frustrating, I think. It's sort of, 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I mean, I thought Palace were pretty shit today, to be honest. And just, for 70 minutes of the game or so, we were the better team, I thought. So it's just it's a case of 10 minutes of really sloppy play, lack of concentration and poor defending. I mean, some comparisons I'd say to the game against Leeds. Although the game against Leeds we were only really good for the second half, but similar in terms of conceding goals that we really shouldn't have conceded.
Especially with that qualifier of supporting Callum Wilson. I thought Miggy did a good job of supporting a lot of people here. And I appreciated Liam saying something nice about my favorite player, despite his weakness.
Thank you.
So I appreciate it. Genuinely appreciate it. But I feel like he supported Wilson really well, and I think we'll get to Fraser in a second. But I think that's what Miggy does well for you. Yeah, he is a 10. He plays in the middle, but he's really more of a chaos midfielder, right? He's the kind of player you do false stuff with. You mentioned the 5-yard passes. He does that stuff really well. And when he's on his game and not falling down too fast and not running the wrong direction or marking someone in the 5-yard box, all those things you get a good Miggy. And I think he did a good job tonight. Did he support Fraser? I don't know. Heat maps are a little weird. I picked my favorite stats from sort of match to match to sort of nerd out on, and heat maps don't really tell you the whole story, but they tell you some things. And I just saw some things from Fraser. I'm not certain we were united in our concept of our 3 forward players. So I think he did better. Maybe it was just dumb luck with supporting Wilson. But I don't know that Fraser was really playing in he got some crosses in. But I think I'm not certain that he was. I don't think we know how to play three forward players really yet. So I think it's a mess up there.
I thought it was positive in the first 20 minutes, and I did expect it to be like an easy win for us. I don't know why I thought that, because I did support Newcastle. Yeah. But then after that, obviously we started to drop off a bit. There was like signs where we were still positive. We played a lot better than we have before the Everton game, but we just didn't have the final cutting edge to score the goals. Well, as soon as the game was over, I said that a defeat was quite harsh. I think that Newcastle probably had more chances. Obviously, Palace were effective at like putting theirs away more, but I think that a draw would have been a fair result. I do think it was harsh getting the defeat.
Yeah, I think my biggest disappointment was the fact that we got the early goal. We were in control, seemingly, of the game. Had created 1 or 2 half chances, and it felt as though Crystal Palace got 2 shots on target, both at the back of the net. Really not good enough. And actually, if you really look at it, we're lucky that Batshuayi gets a touch that's offside. Otherwise, it would have been 3 shots on target and 3 goals. And at that point in the game, I was watching it thinking, every time they shoot, they're going to score, because that's the way it looked. And I think that was my biggest frustration, was the defensively nowhere near, particularly Gary Cahill's goal. It's a good header, I suppose, but why is he getting the time to run and get that header on target in the first place?
Starting to worry that Steve Bruce's tactics are basically going to be, with ASM being back in the team, past ASM and just hope he does something. Because I felt like that is what got us out of a lot of games last season. And because teams are going to start doubling up on him. And you could notice Palace were doing, like Nathaniel Klein did quite a good job on him. And he didn't switch wings, didn't do anything to kind of change that. He kind of left him on the left. And I just think ASM is too, I'll be honest, I think he's too good for us. And we've got the worst manager to be managing him. It does remind me of Pardew and Ben Arthur. The way someone who's too technical, we're not creating space for him. We're not creating the opportunity for him to exploit. I also don't believe the whole long coat, like the way he's talked on Instagram and how unfit he was and stuff. I think there's more going on there.
Yeah, Steve Bruce, man. I've just got to get this off my chest. The fact that he just so the fact that you kept Graham Jones upstairs, that's what pissed me off the most today. Performances aren't too bad, but the fact that he kept him upstairs because he didn't want too much limelight on Graham Jones. And if you notice as well, I've just had this conversation with Pete on my channel. The fact that you didn't really see too much of the sidelines of Graham Jones on the sidelines, but you saw Steve Bruce on the sidelines. And it's only the Chronicle who spotted it, actually got pictures of it. Doesn't that say something to you? So on Saturday, when we won, you saw Graham Jones barking orders, all the rest of it, and you saw the whole media hysteria and all the rest of it. Yet today, Graham Jones has to go upstairs like a naughty school kid, 10 minutes, and then comes back downstairs, and lo and behold, we actually started playing half decent when we're 2-1 down. But just little things like that just shows to me that he's just so what's the word I'm looking for?
Childish.
There we go. Childish.
Petulant.
Petulant. There we go. You can reel them all off.